For a while, the Nuggets looked a step off. But did you notice what changed the moment Nikola Jokic took control again? This video breaks down how Denver suddenly started playing smoother, why the offense looks calm and unstoppable when everything flows through Jokic, and how one player quietly brought the team's rhythm back to life. It is not about one big stat line, but about how the game feels different when he is running it. Stay until the end, because this may be the moment the Nuggets reminded the league exactly who they are. If you have watched the Denver Nuggets closely this season, you probably noticed the moment when everything started to look familiar again, even before the wins fully stacked up. The ball moved cleaner, players cut with confidence, and possessions stopped feeling rushed or forced. It was not loud or dramatic, but it was clear, and if you have followed this team long enough, you knew exactly what you were seeing. The Nuggets were finding their rhythm again, and once that rhythm returned, it became obvious who was responsible for bringing it back. For a stretch earlier in the season, Denver did not look broken, but it did look slightly off, like a band playing the right notes without perfect timing. Shots were still falling at times, but the flow felt uneven, and the offense did not always punish defenses the way it normally does. That is when you start asking uncomfortable fan questions, like whether teams can lose their identity without realizing it, or whether rhythm in basketball is something that can disappear quietly before anyone panics. Then Nikola Jokić started playing like Nikola Jokić again, not just putting up numbers, but controlling games in a way only he can. When he touches the ball, the pace slows just enough for everyone else to speed up, which sounds strange until you watch it happen. Defenders hesitate, cutters move with purpose, and shooters find space without forcing it. That is when Denver starts to feel dangerous again, and you can almost see the confidence returning to the bench possession by possession. What makes Jokic so different is not just what he does with the ball, but how quickly he makes everyone else better once the offense flows through him. When he catches the ball at the elbow or the top of the key, the defense has to make a choice immediately, and no choice ever feels safe. If they stay home, he scores. If they help, someone else gets a clean look. Watching that happen again and again makes you wonder how many teams in the league have a player who can bend defenses without rushing a single move. As you watch Denver during this stretch, notice how relaxed everyone looks when Jokic is orchestrating the offense. There is no panic, no hesitation, and no wasted movement. Players cut knowing the ball might arrive, and shooters set their feet without second-guessing. That trust changes the feel of the entire game, and it is often the first sign that a team has found its rhythm again. Basketball looks simple when timing is right, and Jokic is the reason it starts feeling simple for Denver. One of the clearest signs that the Nuggets were back in sync came during Jokic's historic performances, where he scored, rebounded, and passed at levels rarely seen before. These were not empty stats or wild nights built on forcing shots. They were controlled, thoughtful performances where the game seemed to move at his pace instead of the league's. When a player can dominate without looking rushed or tired, it sends a message not just to opponents but to teammates as well. You may have noticed how Denver's spacing improves the moment Jokic becomes the center of every decision. Defenders cannot crowd shooters. Because help leaves the paint exposed, they cannot double too aggressively because the pass arrives instantly. That balance keeps the floor open and allows Denver to score in waves without needing isolation basketball. It raises an important question for you as a fan: how many teams actually play free-flowing offense, and how many are just reacting possession to possession? The Nuggets' rhythm is not just about scoring, though, because defense improves when offense is steady. When shots come within the flow of the system, players can get back, communicate, and set up properly instead of scrambling. Denver's defense looks more organized when Jokic is controlling tempo, because the team is not constantly reacting to broken plays. That stability matters more than highlight blocks or steals, and it is one of the most underrated parts of rhythm basketball. When Jokic missed time due to injury, the contrast became impossible to ignore. The Nuggets still competed, but the offense felt heavier and possessions required more effort to produce the same results. Players worked harder for good looks, and mistakes carried more weight. Watching that difference likely made you appreciate just how much Jokic's presence shapes everything Denver does, even when he is not scoring. Once he returned and re-established control, the Nuggets stopped forcing moments and started trusting movement again. The ball did not stick, and shots came earlier in the clock without feeling rushed. That trust is hard to rebuild once it slips, which makes the speed of Denver's turnaround even more impressive. It shows how deeply Jokic's style is woven into the team's identity. As a listener, you might find yourself wondering why rhythm matters so much when teams can still win games without it. Teams without rhythm rely on perfect shooting nights or big individual efforts, while teams with rhythm survive off nights because their process holds up. Denver's recent stretch shows what happens when process returns, and Jokic is the reason it does. Another thing you may notice is how calm Jokic looks no matter what the defense tries. He does not rush passes, does not overreact to double teams, and does not hunt shots when they are not there. That calm spreads, and suddenly players who looked unsure weeks earlier are making decisive moves. Confidence in basketball is contagious, and Jokic might be the league's best confidence distributor. This stretch also reminds fans that dominance does not always look explosive. Sometimes it looks quiet, controlled, and almost effortless. Jokic does not rely on speed or vertical athleticism, but on timing and awareness. That style ages well, and it is why Denver's rhythm feels sustainable instead of temporary. When a team's best player wins with intelligence, the system holds even when things get tight. As the Nuggets regained their rhythm, their offensive numbers began reflecting it, with high efficiency, strong shooting percentages, and balanced scoring. But the numbers only tell part of the story, because the real change shows up in how the game feels. Denver plays with patience again, and patience forces opponents into mistakes. When teams get impatient guarding Jokic, the game starts slipping away from them. Watching Denver now might remind you of past playoff runs, when the offense felt unstoppable not because of speed, but because of certainty. Every cut had a purpose, every pass had a target, and every shot felt earned. That familiarity is not accidental, and it is why fans feel confident when Jokic is healthy and engaged. The biggest question moving forward is not whether Jokic can keep producing at an elite level, because he has already proven that. The real question is whether the Nuggets can protect this rhythm through tougher stretches, injuries, and pressure moments. Rhythm is fragile, but when it is built on trust and intelligence, it is harder to break. If you think about championship teams, they all share this trait. They look calm when others panic. They execute when others rush. Denver is starting to look like that again, and Jokic is the anchor holding it together. That does not guarantee anything, but it does put them back in a familiar position. As you continue watching the Nuggets, pay attention to how often the ball touches Jokic before a good shot appears. That is not coincidence, it is design. He does not just score points, he arranges the game. When he is healthy and confident, Denver's offense becomes a conversation instead of a struggle. So, when people say the Denver Nuggets found their rhythm again behind Nikola Jokic, they are not talking about a single game or stat line. They're talking about the return of timing, trust, and control. They're talking about a team that remembers who it is when its best player leads with calm instead of force. And if that rhythm holds, you may be watching a team that quietly put itself back where it belongs, right in the middle of the championship conversation without ever needing to announce it. If this breakdown helped you see the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic a little more clearly, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more reads like this. These shifts in rhythm often decide seasons long before the standings do. Stick with the channel, because when Denver plays like this, the most important part of their run may just be getting started.